What's good, Green Thumbs? Welcome back to another episode of Johnny Learns Gardening. This is the Johnny Learns Gardening weekly garden updates. I'm John. This is Ben. Let's do it. So here we are in the front yard, and this is the rose bush. If you've been following my channel, you saw what I did as far as pruning this down, and this is the results so far. So I've got some budding coming on. I do have some blooms. It's actually a really weird shape, but that's okay. Um, yeah, so I've got some things that I need to do. There's some deadheading that I saw previously that I felt like I should take care of. Some of these branches I could probably cut down. Yeah. So over here next to it, I didn't know what all of this was. I thought that the rose bush was propagating itself, dropping its own seeds, and regrowing. I've taken pictures, searched it on Google. Apparently, these are nightshade vines, and I probably need to get rid of them. I heard they were toxic, and yeah. So that's one task that I'll have to do is getting rid of all the weeds. Over here is my propagating experiment, and to be honest with you, I haven't really done much to it. I just cut some stems off and stuck them in water, and this is the result so far. Looks like nothing's going on with this. I do have some of this growing. Any rooting? Looks like it. So, yeah, I didn't take it too seriously, but it looks like it does have some potential. So, if anybody wants some roses, hit me up. Ben wants roses. All right, Ben, I got you, bro. Now I have all this growing in over here. This is where I planted all the lavender. Now I did put the wood chips down because I didn't think that the lavender would really do anything. So I'm not really sure if this stuff is potentially lavender growing in, but we will take note of how they look. Zoom, and we will compare what they look like with the lavender that I actually do have coming in. I need a little help opening this. You need a little help opening that? So these here are tomato plants that my wife bought. She has a coworker who has a sibling that I guess grows vegetables, and I guess every year for the last 3 years asked if she wanted anything, and this is her way of supporting local and helping me support my hobby. Here we are in the back, and underneath the tree I've got my 2 potato growing bags, and they are looking pretty good if you ask me. This is my first time growing potatoes. I have, what's the term, mounded up with some composts, so hopefully they will produce a lot of potatoes for me. This is one of 3 wildflower beds. I got these wildflowers from Seed Needs. They're coming along. They have yet to flower. Never grown wildflowers before, so I don't know what to expect. In gardening, got to be patient, so I'm ready and waiting to see what kind of flowers comes up. That's 2, and that's 3. Oh, the pond. I have tried numerous times to get the water to stay where I want it. I want it to be at the very top, but it always goes down to where it is now. So obviously there's a hole somewhere. I have sprayed it with that, what is it called? As seen on TV. The name escapes me at the moment, but Quick Seal or something, whatever it's called. Anyway, yeah. So far it's not working, or I must be missing something. But yeah, kind of bummed about the pond. So in here is supposed to be the raspberry plant that I bought. That long stick was the raspberry plant. The plant growing next to it, I'm not sure if that's a weed growing next to it or if that's part of the raspberry plant, but either way, only time will tell. Maybe I'll take a picture and Google that too. So I just recorded numerous clips, including my outro, and then realized that the mic wasn't on. So, do any of my fellow YouTubers ever experience that type of technical difficulty? It's very frustrating, especially with the distraction of the children, the dog, and everything else that's going on. Guess I'm gonna have to do some voiceovers in the editing. Oh well. Um, so these little fluffy things are supposed to knock out the wind, right? It's not very windy, but kind of windy, but we'll see how they work out. So this video is the test. The previous clip was of my brand new blueberry plant that I think that I unalived in its process, and this clip is of my original blueberry plant that seems to be hanging in there but not really doing that great. We will see what happens. And in these hanging pots, I have my strawberry starts that I bought and transplanted, and they aren't doing anything. I don't know what I did wrong. I don't know if they were just bad. I don't know. But this is what they look like, and yeah, we'll see what happens. And in these 4 pots, I planted some herbs. I did record me planting them in a previous video. I'm not sure which one's which off the top of my head. It's between cilantro, basil, parsley. So yeah, that's what they look like so far. This is a shot of my mint. It is doing very well. I did not plant any seeds this year. This is all regrown from the previous year. Time to make some mojitos. And in this little pot over here in the corner is my kiwi plant. When I first bought it, it was looking just fine. When I transplanted it, it was okay for the first couple days, but I think it couldn't take the sun. Therefore, I thought it died. But it has all this new growth, so I'm very excited to hopefully get some kiwis coming along. So this is my first raised garden bed, and over here on the left are the radishes that I've winter sown. This is what they look like now. I did harvest a couple the other day and they turned out okay. I got some marigolds in the corner. I got some beets right here. And there are some carrots over next to it. So I'm just showing you the radishes, showing how they're ready for harvest. And some have grown better than others. Taking you a little bit closer to the beets. I've never grown beets before, tried last year. Got a couple other growing over here. Probably some weeds. And I know I got some carrots over there. And in this corner, I have my marigold and three jalapeno plants. Never grown jalapenos before, tried growing bell peppers in the past. to no success. So we'll see how these jalapenos turn out. This is a close-up of all the spinach I have growing. The very first one is that really long one. I started them indoors and transplanted them outdoors. It bolted right away. I was able to harvest a few leaves. And then the other bigger ones I also started on the inside and transplanted them outside. They are not really doing what I was expecting them to do, but I will harvest these seeds and have some more spinach to grow for next year. Next to them, I have my winter sown spinach. They weren't as flourishing as the indoor starts, but they're still hanging in there, and maybe I'll have better success with them. Yeah, I don't know why they were falling over. Obviously, they're too big for themselves. I didn't know that I was supposed to have stakes out. I did eventually put some stakes on for them to hold on to, so hopefully that will help. Yeah. So I'm not sure if this is the broccoli or the cabbage. In the other bed, I have either one or the other, so this is either one or the other. But if I had to guess, I would say this is the broccoli, and I got one that's doing okay, and the other one that's not doing so okay. So I've never grown lettuce before. Here are two different varieties. Both of these I started in the winter sowing. So I got a black seeded Simpson and Royo Rosso. We actually had guests over for dinner. We made burgers, and I took some of the lettuce from the black seeded Simpson on the right, and we were able to use that. It's pretty good, light and fluffy. Over here, I have my tomato plants. I got 2 stakes in the ground, and probably 3 on that one and 2 on the other plants. Probably overcrowded them. I did prune the bottom few stems to kind of get it away from the soil, and they're not quite long enough to tie up yet. Maybe I could, but I didn't want to force it. But yeah, will hopefully have better success with tomatoes this year than I did last year. So this is a shot of this little barren area in between the tomatoes, lettuce, and root vegetables and lavender. All that growth growing in there, I don't know what it is. I think that they're weeds, but I'm not quite sure. I did plant some basil around the tomatoes, and I know that I had a bunch of other root vegetables coming in, but I'm reluctant to pick them. At the same time, if they are weeds, I'm going to need to pick them. This is my lavender. I have been trying to grow lavender for the past few years, and this is the success that I've had. I'm actually very proud because going from nothing to this is something. I realize that I should probably transplant them soon, if not already have done that, but yeah. I'm probably talking about how I've added some compost and some organic material. I have fertilized it with my little all-purpose fertilizer, but yeah, this is what they are so far. This is the second raised bed. This is the first time that I've planted in it this year. I've got some marigolds in the corner. I've got some corn, green beans, and squash coming in. Some actually zucchini. Attempting to do the Three Sisters method. This must be the cabbage. As I was just saying, I wasn't sure if that other one was broccoli or cabbage. So this was what I was talking about. And then I'm fairly certain that was a cantaloupe. After I started it indoors and transplanted outdoors, it did not last much longer, so I don't know why, but yeah, it didn't make it. But yeah, this is potatoes. So In addition to the potatoes I have growing in the grow bags, I had a couple leftover seed potatoes that I just put in this bed. They weren't doing anything at first, but now they started to come along. So I've had a little critter trouble throughout the spring. I felt like the whoever it was, birds or rats or squirrels, were digging up the corn seeds. What I was pointing out just now are my sugar snap peas. I'm not sure what that little fluffy thing is. I'm gonna guess that it's just another marigold that I just direct sowed, but yeah, I have a lot of corn coming in. Some of them are really close together. I'm not sure if I should bother thinning them out or if I should just leave them be. Last year I didn't have much success with corn. I did have some, but I think that part of that failure was due to planting them too close together and not thinning them. So I think I'm just answering my own question. I'm not sure if those little puffy thingies are green beans or if they're the squash zucchini that I planted, but anyway, I did Google them, and Google said they were peas, so they're probably the beans. Spider-Man! I think I took you back over to the first bed to talk about how I've planted some cucumbers. I wanted some cucumbers to grow on this trellis that I built, and that little thing that I just pointed out, I believe, is a cucumber plant. I did plant a few more next to it, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, I just thought it would be cool to have my vegetables growing over this trellis that I built and just to be able to walk under it and pick the fruit. And yeah, very excited for this. If memory serves me correctly, I now begin to talk about all of my composting methods, starting with the tumbler. So I'm just going to bring you over inside and show you what I got going on. I got scraps from the table, I got leaves, I got grass clippings, and I'm sure other garden wastes. It's been in here for a while, but that's how it looks so far. I think I need to put in some finished compost in there just to get it inoculated and get things moving, because it's kind of slow. I thought the tumblers were supposed to be faster. Put it all in there, give it a little spin, and it's supposed to help break things down, but in my experience, it's a little slow. So I'm walking you over to the compost bays. Bay 1 is starting now to prepare for next year. Bay 2, look at all that black gold. I have been turning it and I've been adding little bits here and there. I don't want to overcrowd it anymore. I want to be able to use this. And yeah, it's looking pretty good. And finally, I'm taking you through all of my worm bins. So this is my very first in-garden, in-ground worm bin. I've added stuff over the years. Haven't really messed around with it, so I got a bunch of dry leaves on top. I'm probably gonna have to add some more stuff and give it a little mix up. Over here in the second bed, I have 3 buckets of in-ground worm bins. I had no intentions of leaving them in here. I just kind of ran out of time, money, and dirt, so I didn't want to disturb what I had going on. But it's kind of the same thing, and the rest, all 3, I got 3 of these in this bed, and yeah, eventually want to put them into their own tower again, just to kind of keep the worm casting separated. But for now, they're just in the bed. And I actually did shoot a video after this about what I've done to add to these. So subscribe and check that out when I post it. Can you believe that I shot all this footage not even realizing that my microphone wasn't on? So frustrating. Anyway, that is all for today, folks. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, take care now. Bye bye then.